Welcome to FlowWright version 10.0. It's been quite a while. This version has been coming, and it's finally ready and for release of August 15th, 2023. And the team has been busy building this particular new version. We have made quite a number of enhancements to the product, also a full technology upgrade. Let me take you to the release notes and kind of walk you through FlowWright version 10. So in FlowWright version 10, we completely migrated our code base and the whole product platform to .NET Core, and currently it's running on .NET Core 7 version. We use MVC architecture for model view controller, and we also redesigned and re-architected all our engines for performance, scalability, and very high performance. And on the APIs side, we restructured the .NET APIs and also restructured and minified our REST API. You will find our APIs are a lot more component-based structured. Things are, namespaces and things are renamed. We've followed Microsoft guidelines in naming things. So you're going to find the API, really nice to use, from before. We have a host of new enhancements. From the user interface side, we have implemented several things. Like I said before, we migrated to latest architecture and technologies, and UI is optimized with partial rendering and some of the things that the technology has to offer. We also reduce a lot of the database calls and improve the performance using caching. We also have compression built in, and a lot of the enhancements we put into the UI is also based on middleware. So we built a lot of middleware to handle the UI requests and things like that, like especially in the case of security and authentication and things like that. Engines, when it comes to engines, we've completely re-architected our engines. And, we have also made it so that, each engines have their own logging and also a REST API associated with each engine, so that real time we can monitor these engines and we can see what's going on. We also have statistical graphs in our UI showing you the processing data for the last 24 hours by the engine. And the engines also have their own logging, and you can also manage the level of logging. Based on the performance tests we've done, our engines are able to process 20 to 40 times faster than previous versions of FlowWright. So some of the new algorithms we used really helped us with performance, and also .NET Core is the other performance improvement. As I said, API is restructured to be much more easier for you to use. We also have a system health check monitor that you can go in and see if everything is running good within FlowWright. And there are videos explaining these enhancements in more detail on our YouTube channel also. We support containers. So FlowWright 10 is fully built for containers. You can run it on a Docker container. And we also have a Docker image where you can basically send a couple of Docker commands and create a container from those images, and then run them and use it on Docker. We also support Azure scale sets. So if you want to scale using Azure scale sets, you can set up FlowWright to do that. And we also support AKS, Azure Kubernetes service, where you can also connect to our container repository on Azure, pull down the container image, and have AKS automatically scale based on your settings. And we also have a new license type called scale set licensing. So if you're running in these type of environments, we'll have to issue a scale set license. On the licensing side, a few licensing changes we have made. We have versioning in our license. We have some of the licensing utility upgrades, and also with the scale set licensing, we can actually store the license in the database now and have it in a single place where multiple copies of FlowWright running, multiple containers, they can actually verify the licensing. We made a number of enhancements to the process designer. Within the process designer, we used a new algorithm to optimize how we store variables. Instead of using value-based, we made it change to use pointer-based, and we are able to significantly save space. So, based on our computations, the variable storage now uses 90% less storage. So they're very well optimized. We also can now use machine learning to predict the next step, and that's based on the data that you have in your database for FlowWright. We can learn from that data, and we can tell, hey, this is we can guess and say this is the next step that should come, and you can, with the click of a button, you can put that next step. You can also now provide step state, your custom state, and pushing complete at any step. And when you execute a process, it will run and perform, update the state in percent. When you create a process instance now, it remembers the last provided values for variables and globals. So you can, if you're testing a process from the designer, you can just click and you can go to the next thing. You can lock controls within the designer. So you can just right click and say lock, and if you move things around, those controls that are locked won't move. They will stay in that same place. And, before, each process step had 4 ports, north, south, east, west, and each port supported up to 4 connections. And we have increased that now to 8 ports. So basically, we have not only our northwest, east, south ports, we also have ports on the corners of each step. So now we support, a lot more ports. So you have 8 ports, and each port supports 4 connections. We have a brand new report designer that we have built in, and the functionality is similar to the previous versions of FlowWright. It's all graphical, where you can drag and drop and build reports. You can use processes to distribute. We have enhanced our logging capabilities. We have engine logs now. We also have a security intrusion log. And we also have included the data access log. So if there are any data access issues, you can look at that. We've made some enhancements to the tools. The database query and expression. Now you can save those expressions or queries and load them later, and you can execute them. And also, we've added a feature to be able to restart the application right from our UI. Instead of doing an IIS reset, let's say you made some change, you want to restart our application, you can do that right from our UI with the administrative privileges. So these are some of the host of enhancements we made to the product. Hope you enjoy FlowWright 10, and it will be released August 15th, 2023. Thank you.